Hello, welcome to the NACE workshop on career and self-development with Cal Poly Career Services. So the NACE stands for the National Association of Colleges and Employers, and NACE are the 8 career readiness competencies that recruiters and employers are consistently looking for in students. They're the 8 traits that help students stand out in internship recruiting and full-time recruiting, succeed in their roles, and also prepare for long-term career success, both right out of college and going to years after. Career and self-development is one of these NACE 8 competencies, so it's one of the top things that recruiters are looking for in students is this skill. So we're going to be diving into what career and self-development means in a recruiting sense. So career and self-development is defined by NACE 8 as proactively developing oneself and one's career through continuous personal and professional learning, awareness of one's strengths and weaknesses, navigation of career opportunities, and networking to build relationships. So now we're going to go a little bit more in depth into each one of these 4 traits. So as for continuous personal and professional learning, this can look like a variety of things. For example, identifying areas for growth, pursuing and applying feedback, showing curiosity, seeking out opportunities to learn, assuming duties or positions that will help one progress professionally, participate in further education, training, or other events to support one's career, and seeking and embracing development opportunities. So, the common thread among all of these is being someone that's curious and wants to grow. And that can be done in a variety of different ways. That can be done by seeking feedback and then also being sure that you are implementing this feedback that you're receiving. And then just having a genuine growth and learning mindset where you're wanting to learn more, both in your position, but also in your personal life, just learning about things that you're interested in. And that can look very different depending on the kinds of things that you're interested in. And then what does this look like for number 2, which was awareness of one's strengths and weaknesses? It looks like self-awareness of your strengths and your areas for development. It looks like reflecting on past experiences so that you can understand personal patterns in performance and where you can ameliorate there. And then recognizing when help is needed and asking for support early. This is also very important in internships. So if you're tasked something that you don't know exactly where to start or what to do, make sure that you ask for support early so that you're making productive use of your time. Additionally, it's using strengths intentionally, for example, in group work and actively improving weaker areas. So this one is all about identifying your strengths and using those strengths and the awareness of your strengths to perform better and put yourself in positions where you will succeed. And also identifying your weaknesses. So knowing what areas you can develop in and taking active steps to get better in those ways. The third sector is navigation of career opportunities, which is developing plans and goals for your future career. So, researching career paths, industries, and roles that align with your interests and your strengths. And setting short-term and long-term career goals based on what you learn. And it is totally okay for these to change. And also using resources like career fairs and LinkedIn to gather information and adjusting your career plans as new experiences or opportunities come up. Either way, even if they do change in the future, it's good to understand where you are now so that you can have a more targeted approach to recruiting opportunities, opportunities on campus, and what you are interested in researching or networking with people about, which leads us to number 4, which is networking. So, networking looks like establishing new relationships with classmates, faculty, recruiters, and professionals. It's maintaining relationships as well. So, not just that initial touch point, but also following up, staying in touch, and showing interest in them, their experience, their career, and what they have to teach you. It also looks like advocating for yourself in environments where you can share your interests, goals, and accomplishments, such as professional settings like career fairs or coffee chats. So, making sure that you talk about your accomplishments, what you're good at, your goals in the future, so that they know what you're looking for. And then also networking both within and outside of your organization to learn about roles, industries, and opportunities. So, networking within your organization or workplace or internship place is great because you get to talk with the people that are actively doing the job. And then also networking with people outside of your organization is great because you are learning from people in different positions. And if you want to switch careers or industries in the future, you can do that. And then just for some thought points on each of these four traits, continuous learning, some points to think about is first, at least one thing that you're curious about and want to get more involved in or learn more about. So, for example, this can look like seeing what's happening with AI in your industry, what's going on in the news, especially in a specific sector if you're interested in economics or politics, or maybe it's books, maybe you want to get more into reading. Again, this can be both at a personal and also at a professional scale. So just having that active mindset of learning, knowing what's going on, and getting involved with what you're interested in. And then number two is what steps you can take to learn about that. So, for example, you can set aside 15 minutes of your day to look it up, research it some more. You can talk to people who might know more about it, siblings, classmates, family, professors, whatever that may look like. And number three is what opportunities you can take to voluntarily further your education. So this is more on the professional academic side, but what can you do to advance your education in a learning sense? So, for example, you can attend club meetings, you can listen to speakers that come to the clubs and talk about their experience in the industry. You can also go to workshops with Cowboy Career Services, clubs, or other organizations. And another great thing to do is just talk to your professors after class, see what's going on with them. You can learn from their experience. You can get a deeper dive into the class, especially if it's something that you're interested in and that you would want to pursue in the future. And then internships and any kind of job is also a great way to further your education. Internships, you can look on Mustang jobs or reach out to recruiters. And then there's many different types of jobs that will give you very transferable skills, such as people skills, information skills, data skills. So making sure that you take advantage of those, and then also you're actively seeking out these opportunities. And for self-awareness, some reflective points is number one strength that you have in school, work, or daily life. So, for example, I'm a very detail-oriented person and I'm a fast learner. So, what you're good at, what makes you stand out, and number two is one skill or habit that you want to improve. So, for example, I want to improve my public speaking skills and decrease procrastination, which goes into number three, which is one small action that you can take in the next 2 weeks to grow in that area. So, as you're brainstorming, it's really good to have specific goals. So, for example, if it's public speaking, you can have a very specific goal of how you can get better at that. So, maybe it's just getting the reps in and practicing in your own home or researching how to improve, and then also being sure that you implement your findings. And then you can also track your progress that way. But it's great to realize where you want to get better at and also what you're good at so that you can use those strengths intentionally. And number three for career navigation, some reflective points here is number one career or skill building goal that you want to accomplish in the next month. Again, the more specific, the better. So, for example, update a resume or update your LinkedIn, attend one office hour for a class that you might want help in or might just want to talk to a professor, apply to 2 internships, ask someone for an informational interview or a coffee chat to learn more about their position. So you can reach out on LinkedIn, or if you're connected to someone, ask for a 15-minute, 30-minute call. And then also learn one new Excel or technical skill or go to a club meeting. So all of these are just examples of one specific goal that you can accomplish in the next month that helps with career navigation. And then number two, it's important to think about why this goal matters to you. So why is this something that you want to accomplish in the first place and why it is important to you? And number three is the first step that you can take this week. So for example, you will get your resume reviewed at Career Services if you want to update your resume or if you want to do an informational interview. You can reach out to 3 people, or if you want to go to a club meeting, you can say that the first step you can take this week is to go to one club meeting and then see if you're interested in that organization there. And for networking, number one of the points that you can think about is one person that you already know who can help you. So one connection that you already have, one person you already know. So this can be a professor, a supervisor, a mentor, or a peer. Um, for example, my statistics professor has a lot of experience in consulting, which I'm interested in, and she knows me from her office hours and class. So this is a touch point that you already have, and professors are a great place to start. And number two, one person that you want to connect with, someone in a club, a recruiter, someone in a field you're curious about. So this can look like a specific person if you have someone in mind, or it can look like you want to, for example, connect with someone who graduated from SLO, Cal Poly, and is in the data analysis field. So we're expanding our network, we're recognizing what network we already have. And then number three is one small action that you can take this week to strengthen or start that connection. So, for example, utilizing LinkedIn, attending a club meeting with a speaker, asking a professor a question after class, or asking an alumni how they got started in their role. So again, something solid, but something that can get you started and expanding your network. So to recap, career and self-development, this competency is all about continuously learning. So keep learning, build new skills inside and outside of the classroom, again, both in that personal and professional scope. So stay in tune with what you're interested in and follow through on your interests. And then know yourself. So understanding what you're good at and what you want to improve is that self-awareness piece that is really important, especially if you go into internships and you have intern assessments, you will be assessed on how aware you are of your own strengths and weaknesses. And once you know your weaknesses, you can also know how to improve them. And three is exploring opportunities. So seeking internships, jobs, and experiences that fit your goals. So again, taking that active step to seek out these opportunities. And four is just building relationships, connecting with people who can support your growth, connect with people that you already know, your professors, family members, friends, parents, and then also build your network with professionals in the industry that you're curious about, um, or just connecting with professors. And some ways to build this competency today is number one, using Big Resume to enhance your resume. So if you use your Cal Poly email to log in, it is free for Cal Poly students. So this is a screening platform where you can input your resume and it will directly tell you the strengths and weaknesses of your resume, which is a great tool. It'll just scan it immediately and tell you what to improve, especially if you input the role that you're interested in. And then also taking career assessments, for example, Pathway U, or just looking at what fields you would be interested in going in and what your strengths give you. And then developing SMART goals. If you're unfamiliar with the framework, you can look up the SMART goal framework. So just having those specific and attainable goals that are time bound just helps you achieve them. And then also having informational interviews or coffee chats. So that means just reaching out to people and asking if you can have 15 to 20 minutes of their time to chat, as you are a student that's interested in that. And then building your network. So LinkedIn, Cal Poly Career Connections is also a website that connects students with Cal Poly alumni. And attending a career fair, an info session, or a career workshop is a great way to build this competency. So just getting more involved in the career futuristic aspect. And you can use Big Interview to practice interviewing, which is similar to Big Resume. So it's a platform that you can use to get better at interviewing. Interviewing is largely about practice and confidence. So if you can practice those reps, you can improve your interviewing skills for when you have a real interview, or you can also use Cal Poly Career Services for help. And ways to show off this competency, having a completely filled and reviewed resume. So again, those resume tools such as Big Resume or Cal Poly Career Services or within your specific college. Also having a completely filled out LinkedIn profile. And if you are not sure what to put on your LinkedIn, you can just copy and paste your resume bullets into your LinkedIn so that you have it there. This is a way for recruiters to easily find you online and look at what experience you have and how it might be relevant. And also just understanding careers, like industries or employers that you'd like to consider after graduation. So knowing where you're headed, why you're in the major that you are, and what interests you about it. And then being able to speak about your strengths and areas for growth in an interview is also huge. Many interview questions ask you what you're good at, what you can get better at. So identify those early and be able to build on those and speak to those. That's all for this workshop. Thank you so much for listening.